Hello guys, Jerry speaking. Welcome to LJPCBM episode number 881, JB 2, Very OddGamer episode number 26, Wally. Now, before we get reacting to this, first and foremost, I never heard this movie in my life, period, except for bits and pieces, And secondly, except for the fact that I've seen some of the car movies I've not seen yet, but I'll get to it eventually. Realistic this time. First cars, second cars, third cars. And eventually we'll get back to it as soon as I can. I thought they stopped Pixar until their first Incredibles. But no. That never happened, That's just it, After this, I never saw Ratatouille yet. I never saw Wally. I never saw Up. And that's just it, Saw some Toy Story movies. That was basically it, So that was basically it for me, at least. So, I don't want to spoil some of the Pixar movies until years later. So there you go or not. Anyway, let's react to Wally, Very OddGamer, beginning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Thank you.
Okay. Very OddGamer in Wally. Title guitar designs by Keyblade's Mistress. Continue on.
Out there, there's a world outside
Oh
of
boy.
Earth.
Is that music on in the background? Continue on.
Way out there, beyond this hick town, Barnaby.
Makes sense.
There's a slick town, Barnaby. Out there, full of shine and full of sparkle. Close your eyes and see it glisten, Barnaby.
Wow.
Listen, Barnaby.
Wow.
Hello, Internet viewers. I'm the Fairly OddGamer. It's been a while since I last talked about Pixar games, so let's not wait any longer and dive back into the world of Pixar. What film I want to talk about, you may ask? Well, how about a lovely little film simply called Wally?
Okay.
Wally was released in theaters on June 27, 2008 by Disney.
Which is, by the way, a day before I turned 13. Continue on.
It became a successful hit for both critics and audiences. I was intrigued when I saw it in the theater, and it still intrigues me today. It was the first Pixar film to ever feature live action.
Wow. That was amazing. I saw news reports on PBS. Continue on.
Characters and or segments, primarily those from Hello Dolly. The film grossed over $500 million at the box office and received a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
And of course, with any Pixar movie at the time, there's always a video game tie-in. In fact, this movie alone has multiple versions of the tie-in game. So for this review, I'll be looking at the Xbox 360 version. Is it as good as the film it was based on? Let's find out.
Okay.
The game was published by THQ and was
According to Real Fortune Jeopardy fans, like I said before, continue on.
by Heavy Iron Studios.
Wow.
Review about Bikini Bottom. The game was released 3 days before the movie's theatrical release, so those who bought the game beforehand were most likely spoiled. Anyway, the game starts off in a dumpster, which is pretty close to how the movie began, as we listen to a rendition of Put On Your Sunday Clothes and Hello Dolly, not sung by Michael Crawford. We see Wally turning trash into small cubes when he comes across a small cockroach, which he has to follow.
Wow.
And getting an achievement for simply moving. Well, that's nice. Use the control stick to move and jump with the A button. In addition, you can roll into a cube for slides and or certain puzzles.
Okay.
It works pretty well for the most part. You can also use the precise aiming mode, which is mostly used for precisely targeting enemies.
Makes sense.
I never used that mechanic until later in the game. I also like the checkpoint system because each stage is sponsored by and large. It really is clever in my opinion. You can also collect these E things called wall-ups. Collecting a certain amount of them will unlock new multiplayer features of the game. In addition, you can collect art books, radios, and even souvenirs that may be Easter eggs from other Pixar movies, like Rex from Toy Story.
Wow.
As mentioned before, Wally can form cubes from compacted trash. But here's the catch. he can only carry 3 cubes at most. These cubes are mostly used for throwing at targets and enemies, and some
Wow.
cubes can even charge up pylons that allow platforms to move and even progress through levels at times. There are also these prepare items used to operate B&L vending stations that allow Wally to form more trash cubes. Touching acid or even getting hit by enemies causes you damage. If you die, you lose all your health. Thankfully, you have infinite lives in this game, so basic stuff.
Yes.
However, Wally can regain health by finding these sonar tokens that partially fill up your health, or use a sonar charger machine to recharge up to full health.
Yes.
So with that out of the way, I love how the music for the first level is the same music used in Hello Dolly. It makes sense because the clips of Hello Dolly were used as part of the plot for the movie. So while following the cockroach, he manages to find the boot with the plant inside, which is a very important plot element for the movie. After a long tumbler sequence, Wally jumps over a steeple, I think, and finds a spaceship that has just landed. It's here where we first see Eve as she hops off the ship and Wally catches a small glimpse of her. Eve's gameplay is not as simple as you think it is. She hovers everywhere, and touching anything that isn't air causes her damage.
Wow.
But at least she can quickly recover. Like the bubble missile in Battle for Bikini Bottom, she has inverse vertical controls. Speaking of which, her controls are very difficult to handle. Press L to move, hold A to accelerate, and a choice of either the R trigger or X to blast her cannon at targets as well as enemies. Anyway, after shooting at cars, Eve has to maneuver through these tunnels in which you can avoid and or destroy obstacles via cannon. Also, there are time trials, and passing these B&L logos causes the timer to reset, allowing her more time in these areas. Once that's done, Eve has to charge up some pylons with her power surge. It's pretty much like Wally's charge cubes, only much more powerful. After going through another time trial in the tunnel, Eve has to scan for plant life. In order to have her scan, you need to have her stop or glide slowly toward one of these things. I don't know what they are. And after another tunnel time trial, both Eve and Wally meet each other.
Wow.
Suddenly, a sandstorm appears. In the sandstorm, you get to play as both Wally and Eve. Not only can you control Wally as you would normally, but you can also shoot at targets and enemies with Eve's cannon. One of my favorite things to do in this game is the stork jump. If you jump and hold Y, then Eve can safely carry Wally over a large gap or higher ground. It works really well, and I love this move because of it. After a bit of platforming and throwing more cubes into a bucket, you have to destroy this robot called the Wall A by using Wally's box form to knock the B&L bins that release explosive barrels. After that, they make their way to Wally's home as he gives her the boot with a plant inside. You know, the one that he found in the beginning of the game. So Wally gives Eve the plant, which causes her to go into standby mode, resulting in having Wally worried. As suddenly the spaceship returns, only now it takes Eve with the plant inside. This is a time mission where Wally has to quickly make his way to the spaceship before it takes off with Eve in it, while avoiding or knocking over obstacles in his path. Once that's done, Wally hitches a ride as they make their way to the mothership in Axion. However, Wally gets spotted by an MO robot, classifying him as... how does the movie say it?
Sorry to terminate.
Thank you. So while in the Axiom, Wally can jump over obstacles and can magnetize his way over red floors. Avoid them at all costs because one little touch can lead to instant death. Also, don't touch these pink floors either. They don't cause instant death, but it can still damage you. Plus, Wally can also throw cubes at MO robots to distract them, and that's it. Anyway, you find some key cards close to higher ground, and there you'll find all the citizens who fled Earth and lying on hovering chairs surrounded with technology. If at any point you run into any citizen, it causes a traffic jam, resulting in you losing health. And that's pretty much it. Avoid citizens as well as red floors, and reach the tram to Captain McCrea's headquarters.
Captain Brooklyn has brought back sounds of life from Earth.
It's a little early for jokes, Otto.
Before we move on, let's talk about the voice acting. I'm glad they managed to have the voice actors reprise their roles from the movies, such as Bernberg as Wally, Elisa Knight as Eve, Jeff Garlin as the Captain, and the computer Macintosh as Otto. Or as I like to call it, Apple BS.
Wow.
Good for Siri.
theory.
The captain finds Eve returning with a positive probe response, which excites him because the planet inside Eve is needed for them to return home. Unfortunately, the planet is nowhere to be found, and the captain orders Eve to diagnostics for repair and Wally for cleaning. Because, you know. So Wally arrives and is still worried for Eve. However, he manages to obtain Eve's arm cannon and it's up to Wally to make his way to the repair ward and save Eve. And this is the only level where Wally can actually attack enemy robots via arm cannons. Plus, there's another tumbler section in which Wally has to free reject robots from their cells.
Yes.
Once that's done, you have to throw these charge cubes at targets above the steward entrances. Think of them as an enemy respawn. This is the only time in the game where I've used Wally's precision aiming mode. It actually works really well for this mission. After that, you have to throw more charge cubes at these turrets, as well as the control panel that respawns more enemy robots. It really is a tedious mission having to throw cubes at the turrets while trying to avoid any enemy attacks. So be sure to recharge your health as often as possible, otherwise you won't be able to complete the mission. Once that's done, Wally saves Eve from the repair ward, but she's still mad at him for losing the plant. They make their way to an escape pod en route to Earth, but the downside is that Eve is a directive robot and she cannot abandon her directive. The pod self-destructs, and this time it's up to Eve to save Wally from any danger. This level is what I like to call the mission level, which Eve has to endure loads of missions in order to complete a level. First off, Eve has to save Wally by chasing after him around an asteroid belt without losing sight of him. If you mess up even once, then the mission is considered failed, and you have to do that mission all over again. Also, is it just me, or is Wally air surfing in space via a fire extinguisher? Hey dude, did you say air surfing?
Why, yes, Hux. Yes, I did.
Dude, I've always wanted to surf in the air.
But with the fire extinguisher, though?
Nah, I think a usual surfboard would be fine.
Oh, I see.
It's alright. Anyway, I just thought I'd ask. Later, dude!
Wow.
Once that's done, you have to endure another time trial that I love so much. Oh, joy. Anyway, Eve saves Wally as he gives her the boot with a plan inside. Then the level's done, right? Nope, it turns out there are more missions in this level. Like Eve flying through rings. A bit finicky, but it's still better than Superman 64. Even Finding Nemo for that matter. Anyway, after that, you have to destroy this asteroid under a time limit. Nothing much to say about it, so moving on. After one final tunnel time trial, we finally get a mission that's not monotonous, but still cryptic to say the least. Eve has to get Geo4 to open the door to gain access to the bridge. All you have to do is destroy these steward robots and use the power source to charge up the pylons. But that's not all. You also have to shoot these targets in the rotating arms of Geo4 in all 3 levels. However, if you die at any point, you have to start that mission again from the beginning. Now that's what I call a challenge. After gaining access to the bridge, Eve retrieves the plane and it makes the captain really happy. But Otto refuses to let them return home. Why is that? Because he claims that the cleanup of Earth was unsuccessful. As a result, Otto throws both Eve and the plant to the garbage chute.
This is mutiny!
Mutiny? Well, at least there's no furnace. Or incinerator for that matter.
Don't worry, we only light it on Tuesdays.
So Wally hears Eve as he too makes his way down to the garbage chute with Mo right behind him. It's here where we're introduced to these magnetic cubes that can repel any metallic objects or debris. The only downside is that this is the only level where these cubes are ever found. But you can also throw charge cubes and gain access to new areas behind red lasers. This level also introduces supercharged cubes. It's pretty much the regular charged cubes, only much more powerful. So far, I actually like this level. That is, until we get to the 3-way conveyor belt. I cannot stand that portion of the level at all. You have to perfectly time your way through these conveyor belts while slaloming by these light blue walls and avoiding these pink floors.
Wow.
I can't even imagine how many times I've died just to get through this. Especially this part where you have to go through the middle conveyor belt. The only way to get through this part is to either time it perfectly or just being lucky. Anyway, after going through these conveyor belts, he finds Eve as well as the plant as they, along with Mo, escape the garbage chute and head back to the deck.
Can I just say right now that the graphics in this game look amazing?
It managed to take everything from the movie and turn it into a fully developed game. Everything from the models, animations, cutscenes, it's all there. It feels like I'm playing the whole movie in game form, and it looks incredible. I even love the look of the Axiom. It's just incredible to look at. I also want to point out that every cutscene in this game is fully rendered from the game's engine, which I actually enjoy. This will also happen in later Pixar games like Toy Story 3. So yeah, the graphics in this game look almost identical to the movie. Anyway, the captain tells Wally and Eve to get the plan to the holo detector, which he manages to open while fighting Otto. At the same time, both Wally and Eve have to make their way to the holo detector while fighting off robots sent by Otto. Not only can you use charge cubes to progress through the level, but you can also use the sport jump to avoid red floors and platform your way to the holo detector. But, uh-oh, Otto tilts his ship and tries to close the holo detector.
Wow.
I just love how we can hear a Wilhelm scream in space.
With the ship tilted, Wally has to slalom his way through the passengers, avoid the red floors, and get the plan to the holo detector before Otto closes it. And that's what he manages to do as he struggles to keep it open.
I'm the captain around here, and I say we are going home today.
The captain disables Otto and straightens the ship while Eve inserts the plan to activate hyper jump while freeing Wally, now partially damaged.
Wow.
After arriving back on Earth, Eve figures out that she has to repair Wally as quickly as possible. All you have to do is scan and retrieve 5 replacement Wally parts before time runs out. And that's pretty much it. After finding the last replacement part, Eve returns home and she manages to repair and reactivate Wally. But alas, his memory is reset as we hear a rendition of the love theme from Hello Dolly. It takes a moment.
And for those who've already seen the movie, you probably know what happens next.
Eve gives Wally an electrical kiss which sparks his memory back as they both reunite with one another. It's still as touching as it was in the movie.
So what are my thoughts on the Wally tie-in game? I actually love this game.
Wally has always been a compelling film to me, and there's no doubt that this game still makes it compelling. It follows the movie pretty well, as if I was actually playing through the whole movie. The levels look identical to the film, and the in-game cutscenes perfectly replicate scenes from the movie. As for gameplay, I actually like Wally's puzzle levels, as well as playing through the levels with both Eve and Wally, especially with the use of the sport jump. I'm not much of a fan of Eve's levels, especially when handling her controls. However, I do like using Eve's cannon to shoot at targets as well as enemy robots. I love the checkpoint system, and it's really funny to have every stage sponsored by and Large. The music is enjoyable, but not something that I listen to every day. I mean, except for the Hello Dolly excerpts, which, in my opinion, makes both the movie and the game compelling besides the story. There were some missions that aggravated me, but honestly, it didn't affect the entire game as a whole.
Makes sense.
Overall, Wally is an amazing tie-in game, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who has already seen the movie before then. Give it a try when you get a chance.
Okay.
It's only a matter of time before I do more Pixar games, but who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. I'm the Fairly Odd Gamer, and I wish you all good luck the rest of your day or night, wherever you are. Take care, everyone.
How's it going, dudes? Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon if you want to get notified for upcoming videos.
Also, be sure to check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And now, here's one of my buddies to finish out the video.
Oh! Hi, everybody! I'm so glad to see you! I'm here to tell you that you can now support the Fairly Odd Gamer on Patreon, where you can gain access to exclusive content, chat with other fans, and have lots of fun! But that's not all. For this month only, all patrons of any tier will get a shout-out from me and have your name featured on the credits. However, the offer ends August 21st. Now here comes the fun part.
Alexander Bone, okay, Jake, okay, whoever he is, I don't know. Spotify and Cindy Bradley. Okay, that's more make more sense. Continue on.
Give a great big hug and a kiss to this month's Patreon supporters: Alexander Bone, aka Wisdom Toad, Jake Tixie, Sonica Pie, and Cindy Bradley. Thank you all for being my special friends. And remember, I love you.
So that was Fairly Odd Gamer Wally. I was gonna say big fat no, but these are make more sense in any way. Okay. So that was amazing. So far this episode was a successful one. Yeah. And that was LJPCBM episode number 881. Hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for the next one. It's going to be OddGamer episode number 27, Smashing Drive. Till next time, Sue Jefferson, bye, peace out, baby. We'll get more to react to for you guys very soon. Till next time, out. See ya.
Given unto me this life I'll never take for granted, and given all the time I failed to really understand it, I never sought to meet the maker of reality, the one who gave the life that which is always happening, but I tried all the time. I ask, why me? Why was I the one to see things as I do under the moonlight and the sun? Perception is the question, and the giver holds the key.